Lord for Maura.
From the State House, Maura's family returned to where she was last seen 1 year ago.
Good. That it?
Her father replaced the ribbon that has marked the spot where Maura crashed her car on Route 112. A song written by Maura's friend is played, adding to the emotions of all that has been lost and all which remains unanswered.
I've been up here a million times. It doesn't get any easier. It just doesn't. I just hope she's well, not suffering. Just want her back.
It was 1 year ago Maura packed her bags and left UMass for New Hampshire. A witness saw her walking away from the accident. Her father believes she was headed for Bartlett, but police and her family can't answer the question why. And despite numerous searches around the area, no clues have turned up where she might be. Even still, her father does not give up.
I'm completely hopeful. I mean, that's what I want. Am I realistic? I don't know, but I'm not gonna stop hoping that. And I feel good every time I come out of the woods, and I've searched around.
In a desperate search for answers, Maura's father went to the New Hampshire state capitol on the 1 year anniversary of her disappearance.
Hi, my name is Fred Martin.
There was a guy who was on a quest to find his daughter, and he just basically approached the governor in the middle of a meeting, a phalanx of cameras. He charged in, knocked on the door, and said, "I want answers, and I want them now."
I did meet with Mr. Murray.
He got a closed-door meeting for about 10 minutes with the governor that day. The governor said, "I'll do all I can to turn over all that we know about your daughter's disappearance." But it actually turned out that they wouldn't release those documents to Fred.
They essentially told me, we can't comment on an ongoing investigation.
Just about a year into the case, when things were quieting down, and I thought it was, the cops must thought it was just going to dry up and blow away like they all do. This was a little more stubborn, but it's going to go. Here comes Tim Irvin. He says he does, every now and then, he feels he owes it to society to do a pro bono. So he contacted me, and he said he'd like to represent me, and what did I think? A release of records. But John Healy is the guy that kept trying to talk me out of bringing the cops to court, in the court case. Healy repeatedly tried to talk me out of that. And he really put on a major rush on me to get me not to do that, not to take the cops to court.
Did he give a reason for it?
We're going to take care of it. We're doing everything we can, Mr. Murray, and we'll get to the bottom of this. But we don't need to, the judge can do nothing. There's no sense in going. And so I said, you've had time, you haven't done it. And I want all the help I can get, and you won't show me the records. And something in those records that means nothing to you might very well mean something to me. And I'll help you with it. I'll explain it and how it pertains to the case and what's important. But so I went ahead with it. And that led to the court case, which he did an admirable job with.
I thought so.
Yeah.
And I read through everything.
Sure. And, but Tim Irvin put the case back on the map.
Fred Murray wants a look at 2,500 documents. Documents containing emails Maura sent the day of her disappearance to information on what police found in her car the night of her accident 2 years ago. Details Murray believes could solve this mystery.
Tell me what you did, tell me what you didn't do, and I'll try to go back and see what you didn't do and take a fresh look at it and start it all over. It gives me my best hope, it gives me my only hope.
Murray's attorney claims the family has a right to the files under the state right to know law.
Her family knows her better than any other party. A second set of eyes looking at information that is clearly non-exempt may ultimately lead to locating her.
The state has classified Maura Murray as a missing person. Right now, this is not a criminal case. But if it turns into one, the state wants to keep all of its records secret, saying the release of anything now could jeopardize a criminal case later.
And so obviously whenever you use the term missing person, there's the possibility that there might be criminal action which caused that person to go missing.
This is just part of overturning the next stone to see what's under it. But it's incredibly hard, and it's terribly frustrating.
A determined father returns to court seeking answers in his daughter's disappearance. State investigators have amassed 2,500 documents in connection with Maura Murray's case. Fred Murray's attorney says keeping the files secret is against the law.
None have been produced on the grounds that all of the records fall within a claimed exemption to the New Hampshire right to know law.
Maura Murray disappeared almost 3 years ago after crashing her car in a snowbank in Woodsville in February of '04. The investigative files in her case include phone records, witness interviews, and criminal record checks. The state argues releasing any of that information could put any potential future prosecution in jeopardy.
We want to be sure that when we find out what happened to Maura Murray, that if it involved a crime, that we can bring that person to justice.
But at this point, Murray's disappearance has not been classified as a crime, and the justices wanted to know why.
Shouldn't the state at the very least concede that it's a criminal investigation? I gather the state hasn't even done that.
We cannot, with 100% certainty, say that a crime has been committed.
Her father remains frustrated at the lack of progress in the case. He's hopeful this hearing will convince the justices that a judge should review all the documents and determine what can be released.
If you keep it a missing person case forever, you never have to say anything at all about what you did. And that's what's happening right under our noses here, folks.
That's enough. Then you can never penetrate that wall. How do you penetrate that wall? If you're, like the father in this case, saying, I want records, and the police come in and say, well, we're using all these records. If the judge isn't looking at the documents, but merely accepting the credibility of a police officer, then the answer to my question is you never penetrate it.
There are... And if that's true, and it probably is, because you can't think of an answer to the Chief's question, how much time passes? In other words, if 5 months is okay under Bowman, but otherwise if we say it's, subject to the exemption and nobody can penetrate that, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years?